Son, daughter, I want you to stop for a moment and look around. Pay attention to what is happening. The world is not just wounded, it is deeply broken, torn at its most essential foundations. Look at how people walk as if they are lost in a vast desert, stumbling from side to side without direction, without hope, without answers. They search for something to ease the pain they carry in their hearts. But where do they find relief? In dry wells, in fountains that do not quench. They follow paths that seem promising but always end in the same place. Emptiness, frustration, despair. Do you realize this? Can you see how the world is drowning in its own confusion? Many place their hope in money and the false promise that it can buy happiness or guarantee security. But when they get there, they realize peace is priceless. Others immerse themselves in pleasures, believing the next experience, the next satisfied desire will fill the void. But inevitably the void returns deeper than before. There are those who bury themselves in work, dedicating every second to conquering titles, status and recognition, only to discover that these trophies are worthless when the soul is in ruins. And still there are those who choose silence. They don't scream or complain, but silence is a mask. Behind it there is pain, open wounds and tears no one sees. Smiles are placed on their faces, but do not reflect the reality of their hearts. And in the midst of all this chaos, I look at you. Yes, you, with all your history, with all your scars. I see your doubts, your failures, your fears. I see the battles you have already faced and the scars they have left. Yet I have chosen you, not because of your strength or perfection, but because I see something in you that perhaps you have not yet perceived. I see the potential I've placed in your hands. I see how I can use you to bring answers to the questions others are silently asking. Have you thought about this? Have you considered that you, just as you are, can be the answer to someone's cry? There are people in the world crying out, screaming for help, even without words. They need something you have, something I have placed in you. I have chosen you to be an instrument in my hands, not by chance, not as a last-minute plan, but because I believe in you. The world is hungry for something it cannot find within itself. It seeks genuine love, a hope unshaken by circumstances, and answers that go beyond superficial solutions that material things can offer. Do you see this? There are mothers who spend entire nights crying for their children, who have wandered into dark paths. There are young people chained by addictions, sunk in despair, unable to believe there is a way out. Families are being destroyed, torn apart by betrayals, illnesses, fights, and lack of forgiveness. And here I am looking at you asking, are you willing to be part of the answer? I'm not asking for empty promises or commitments you can't fulfill. What I want is your heart. I want your willingness. I want to hear you say, here I am, Lord, use me. The harvest is ready, the fields are full. So many people are waiting for someone to bring them a word of hope, a gesture of love, proof that they are not alone. But there are not enough workers, people willing to step out of their comfort zones to make a difference. Many prefer to stay where they are, protected in their safety zones. But I have not called you for that. I have called you for something greater. I have called you to transform lives, to bring healing, deliverance, and salvation to those who need it most. Perhaps you're thinking, well, but I'm not good enough. I don't know how to speak. I'm afraid of making mistakes. I'm afraid of failing. Listen to me. It is I who equips you. It is I who puts the right words in your mouth. It is I who opens doors before you. It is I. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be faithful. I am your refuge and strength. Trust in me and remain attentive to my words, for they are life for you.